He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute! Attention, citizens of fair Gotham, and welcome once again to Bat Minute Forever, the show that is specifically designed for pasty-faced twits. I am your host, John Parker.
And, John, I'm the co-host! It's me, Niall McGowan.
I wasn't expecting that. That made my day. But yes, we are alone today, because our wonderful guest, unfortunately, didn't have the time to do all three, so she stuck around as long as she could.
Hopefully, there's some technical issues that hopefully people listening won't be able to have picked up on. But yes, to try that. But although you will hear Phoebe at the end of the episode, because I sent her the outro script before we knew she wasn't doing the last episode, so yeah. She'll still technically be in this episode somewhere.
Yeah, it's a shame, and she wanted to be here, but schedules and things, we thought some Phoebe is better than no Phoebe.
Yeah. She'll be back next year. Well, we can't let her skip out in Batman and Robin anyway. So.
Oh no. And, we could have got someone else, but we thought, let's kick it old school and round out the week on our own.
Yeah. It's like, well, it's been so long, John. It's been so long. We do the Patreon episodes. It's just me and you all the time. So it's actually not that different an experience anymore.
That's an excellent point. But this is the main show. This is different. This is the Freebie.
Yeah.
And this is minute 39.
This is Phoebe Bottoms, actually. Yeah, there you go. There's an episode title right there.
Right there. And it's perfect because it's free of Phoebe.
Yeah, that's also true. I did have to, when I was looking at riddles earlier, to ask her on Monday, one of the ones I came across was like, that would be good, but I was worried that it might offend her because one of them was like, what has a bottom at the top? And the answer is your legs, because your bottom is at the top of your legs. And then I thought, like, she might be like, oh, yeah, whatever. But she also might have been like, are you, say, like, yeah, like an ass? Are you trying to say I'm an asshole or something?
Oh, no.
No, so I was like, I'll go for a safer riddle than that. There's no way she could get offended by this one.
Oh, no, we love you, Phoebe. But yes, this is minute 39. The minute starts with the summoning of a bat, and it ends with a trapeze-trained bomb squad.
Yeah. And some exciting stuff. Beginning of a really good sequence of this movie, actually.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised how much I enjoy this sequence, because, I tend to prefer the dark Batman, the weird, gothic, strange, twisted stuff, and this is the complete opposite of that in many ways, but... I mean, there is a murder coming up.
Yeah.
But the silliness works. It's really compelling. It's one of the best bits of the movie, oddly.
I think it's just because they've just got a nice mix of everything. Because it does still have like a grotesquely, scarred guy with a really bizarre theatrical outfit. Like, who's a genuine threat. Like, he's actually got, like, when he, this were like the old 60s Batman. Like that big, the big spherical bomb was obviously a reference to that. But like, you would know you're in sick, nothing's going to happen to anybody. But this is like, oh no, these people are in quite a bit of danger, and not everyone's going to make it out alive to this one. Like it's going to be like there's going to be some legitimate damage done due to Two-Face's admittedly very camp and theatrical scheme.
And it makes a nice change in this series, actually. That other than the Waynes, of course. That somebody actually close to one of the main characters gets offed.
Yeah.
Because usually it's kind of like, just some character you don't really know.
It's just like, like the Ice Princess. Like, she was, I guess she was okay for a couple. Although we end up having to defend the Ice Princess against that guy on the Batman wiki. We seem to be at war with her about how, like, this goddamn idiot keeps coming.
They literally said she was stupid.
Yeah. And I think they emailed us to defend their position about it.
Did they?
Yeah. That was I think we got emails from a person. I don't know. I hope they're still listening to the show. But they were saying like, it was me who edited that. And like, yeah. Oh, no. And then they had a whole list of like reasons why the Ice Princess was a complete idiot. Like,
I hope they know we're just being like tongue in cheek.
I know. I think I had a couple of messages back and forth after that. I've been like, well, come on, be a bit more reasonable. But
yeah, we're just joking. But yeah, we're back with Harvey here and his guns and his crew and his gang holding people hostage to try and lure out Batman. And I love the line he comes out with, perhaps one of you pasty-faced twits is Batman. Because he's kind of joking, but, if only he knew.
I don't think even though if he's joking, I think he's just like, this is, like, I guess everyone's here. Like, you gotta be, if you're Batman, I guess you have a bit of money. Everybody rich in Gotham is at the circus, so I guess, like, yeah, it's a good chance one of you assholes is Batman. But
maybe he's being serious, but still, I think he's working on the assumption Batman isn't there. He's going to come and rescue them from outside, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, lure them in. He'll have his suit on. It's nighttime,
Yeah. It's a bit kind of similar to listeners to the Patreon episodes will recall in our coverage of the Long Halloween. Like, the Joker's scheme to gas all of Gotham Square at midnight on New Year's Eve because he wanted to track down Holiday, the Holiday Killer. And he's like, hey, there's a good chance the Holiday Killer is going to be in that crowd because everybody's going to be there. So if this is a good chance that I'm going to be able to take out this guy just by killing hundreds and hundreds of people in one go.
Well, if it works.
Yeah.
Although you do what you got to do, man.
I have to say, like, I find Tommy Lee Jones's delivery of the second Batman very weird because he's like, "Oh, one of you pasty twits don't know who Batman is, and one of you pasty twits is Batman." Like, he says it in a really weird way to me. Like,
yeah, I think he's just trying to portray the craziness of his character. Oh, he's wacky. Even his voice is all over the place.
He's just like, it's like, just doing an affectation. So, yeah, give me something to do while I'm messing around with this. If he's not got enough to do in this friggin' this outfit's just doing all the work for him. Like,
I know he could say nothing this entire movie, and I'd still be in love with him. Look at that jacket. Oh my god.
We haven't really got into like analyzing the look he's got going on here because he's got because it's obviously it's a ringleader jacket he's got on because he's still got like the shoulder lapels, but he's chosen like line the top of the scarred side with, I guess they're bullets. Like, it's kind of like rifle bullets, like the longer.
Yeah, they look like bullets to me. Yeah,
and then he's one of these guys. Is like, yeah, he's a real hat on a hat kind of guy. Because even amongst this whole multicolored, you can't even make out half the details of what's going on. He's also added a little flower on the lapel as well.
Oh,
it's like nobody's gonna see that, Harvey. Like, you got too much going on there.
I think that though. He's added loads of stuff. There's skulls and spikes and chains.
I think around the back too. Like, he had, it seems like there's a line of like rings, which I'm assuming are like the pins from grenades or something that he's strung up.
Oh, yeah, it probably is actually. I didn't think about that.
I was thinking Two-Face's hat too, because he's got this like the luminous green skull, which kind of made me think of one thing looks a bit like Pazuzu from The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
But also looks like the freaking gang leader we're gonna be seeing a couple of scenes from now. Dick Grayson, like the neon faced guy in the alleyway during when Dick goes out in his joyride in the Batmobile. It's like, oh
yeah, it feels like this is him laying the groundwork for that and the next movie. Like, let's test it out.
Yeah, I just like. Two-Face, is he a fan of that gang leader, or did that gang leader see this like Edward Nygma did? And he's like, "Oh, I like that. I like that skull thing he had on the top. I think I'm going to do that."
I think as a kid, I always assumed he was part of Two-Face's gang, but why would he be dressed like that? None of the others are really dressed like that.
I think he's just some random other gang. No affiliation with anybody but himself.
I don't like the movie trope here, though. I like it because it's stupid and funny. But I don't like it in general. He clicks the detonator, and he gives Batman 2 minutes to show up.
Yeah.
That's cutting it a bit too fine. What if he's across town? What if he's on the toilet? This is the second time I've theorized Batman's on the toilet in a scene. I apologize, everyone. Oh, wait, as of recording, is it the first time?
I'm not too sure.
No,
actually.
it's the second time.
But that's the thing. In real time, though, within the movie, I think it is actually. It's around 2 minutes. They actually do it in real time. I think like in 2 minutes' time. Those Graysons are going to be dead. That bomb's out of there. So I think they actually did it. They managed to time this to like a relatively realistic. This isn't one of those like, you got 30 seconds. And then like 2 hours later, there's like, oh my God, the bomb's got 15 seconds left.
I hate that in movies when someone falls off something. And the fall seems to take about 100 years because it'll cut to a different angle and suddenly they're like near the start of the fall again. You're like, hang on a minute.
That's coming up in the upcoming minutes, like the Graysons falling, like everyone's getting on about their day, going doing stuff, keeps coming back to them, still falling, still midair, just like I was like, Bruce is already like back home putting his feet up, like what happened to that circuit? Are those guys done falling yet?
Wait a minute.
The TV news coverage is still cutting that one shot of them because they're going down. I will say though, I know this is, I've seen in like comment sections on the internet, people who have beef with this movie have beef with Bruce's action here, where he just stands up immediately and is like, Harvey, I'm Batman.
Oh, I knew that would be the case. I've written a note, like, I can imagine this is a contentious choice with fans.
It is, yeah. I'm kind of surprised that it is too, because it's like, I think this is totally, people are like, oh, your comic book Batman would never do this. Like, he would have something set up where he's like, I can take this, I can take care of this in secret and whatnot. But I like it as a move, though, where he's just like, everything's, this Bruce cares so much about the public that he's legitimately like, okay, this is my out. Fine. However, yeah, it's me. Like, he's...
Yeah, what other solution could he... Even Batman, what could he come up with?
Yeah, I guess he does do something where he actually does sneak down and starts taking out the goons and stuff. But at the same time, I like the note that, like, yeah, he tried to do it. Like, the most immediate kind of like, yeah, I'm going to try to save all these people by sacrificing myself, basically, and stand up and going, yep, it was me the whole time.
I do like that as well. I like as well that he fails, essentially. Batman has failed, but nobody was there to hear it. So... It's like, oh, crap, plan B.
That's the thing, like, all the people nearby, too. He's got, like, Gordon 2 seats over from him. Got the Chase Meridian right there. She freaking can't figure out that Bruce Wayne's Batman later in this movie for love nor money. I know on the other side of him, though, is Gossip Gertie. It wouldn't be great, though, if she was just like, ooh, this is a juicy tidbit. Where she's, like, writing down in the notebook, like, Bruce Wayne
but where's the
Batman.
proof?
That's the gonna be the thing then, yeah, like over the next years, like all the gossip rags are just like, Bruce Wayne is Batman, and people are like, that's Gossip Gertie saying that though, like gossip's in her name, for Christ's sake, you can't trust anything she says.
Well, yeah, nobody hears him, bar her maybe, like Two-Face doesn't hear him, not a soul, so put the poor sod. There's too many people screaming, he can't be heard, he's trying to do the right thing.
Could have been like an ironic like take on Spartacus where everyone's just trying to like throw their lives down, like, oh, yeah, I'm Batman. Yeah, by all means, take me, for Christ's sake, but just turn the bomb off, for God's sake.
I love the way, if that was the case, though, Two-Face would be like, oh, cool, right, I'll just blow you all up then. Fine. Doesn't matter to me. Whatever.
It seems like that would be some kind of, like, ironic, like, if they did have, I don't know, you feel like you could have had a scene like that, someone else standing up and been like, yeah, it was me, and then Bruce been like, oh, should I let this person just take the rap, or, like... But then who would it be? Like in most Batman stories, that other person who stands up and will admit that would be Harvey Dent, like he does in The Dark Knight. But Jim Gordon stands up and is like, "Yeah, Harvey, it's me. I'm Batman." It's everything. Sit down, Jim. Like we know, I've met Batman. You ain't Batman, okay?
I was going to suggest, like logically, like a heroic move in this would be Gordon taking the fall, getting kidnapped, maybe even getting killed or something. But. And I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be nasty. There's no way you would buy this guy as Batman.
No, not at all. I guess, too, because people did see him out in public with Batman as well. They're like, well, of course it's not going to be the same fella. But
that could be a stunt double. It could be a ruse.
I kind of wish they did give Gordon something else, though, because, like, the fact like we were saying last minute, like, oh, no one seems to recognize that Two-Face is like, or like the former DA is there. Like, I would have loved it if some people, like, the people who are like on the side of Two-Face's scarred side the whole time while he's talking, they're like, who the hell's that guy? And then when he spins around, they're like, oh, that's the DA, Harvey Dent. Like, I haven't seen him in years. Whatever happened to that guy? But I just would have liked a moment for Gordon where, like, because he's worked up close and personal with Harvey Dent, had, when he heard the voice, they cut a shot of him going like, wait a minute. Oh, that's weird. Like, and then he's just like, oh, crap. And he's trying to get out of the seat or something. And maybe Bruce looks over him and is just like, well, what's happening here? Oh, now I like, and then Bruce starts twigging on like, oh crap, that voice is familiar. And then by that point, then it's like, it's too late. And they're like, oh, it's stupid. Because it would have at least made, like, them look competent in some way. Because, I mean,
they are completely useless. Absolutely. Like, surely there's a way Gordon can contact the rest of the force. He's not the only policeman. Why is nobody trying to resolve the situation?
It was that guy from Wayne Manor in the first movie. It was Roberts, the guy who's like, oh yeah, who's in charge? Eckhart, sir. Oh my god! Like Robert just appears next to him, like, I think that might be the former DA Harvey Dent, sir. Like, oh my god, come on, let's go.
May God have mercy on us all.
God damn it, we have him.
In the Goldsman draft, Bruce does not do this, so they've added this in later on in the process, which intrigued me.
Yeah, what if it was a Val Kilmer note? Maybe he was like, yeah, if I feel he should. Or maybe it was a Joel Schumacher who was like, yeah, the guy should stand up and freaking take the bullet here. But
I couldn't find any info on who made the decision.
It was just like, every single take they did was atrocious, except the one where Val Kilmer did this. And they're like, yeah, I guess it's in the movie now. So
now we've got to use it. There's no choice. And yet again, still, Nigma is watching it. It's still on the TV.
Well, that's one thing I should point out is a major departure that was in the original Bachelor draft of this. Is they made a big, like, we speculated last minute, like, oh, maybe this is supposed to be some kind of comment on, like, Edward Nigma watching this violence over TV has now, it's a comment on TV violence affecting the youth and whatnot. But, and I know in the Goldsman draft, it doesn't mention these cutbacks at Nigma's apartment. So
no,
there seems to be some sort of like, oh, there was a decision made to do this. But the original Bachelor draft, Edward Nigma, or Lyle Heckendorf, as he is in that, he's at the circus. He's also there. And kind of there's a weird scene that plays out beforehand, before all this kicks off, which I'll speed through, hopefully quite quickly. Basically, as Bruce and Chase are making their way into the circus, there's a whole bunch of random booths and whatnot. And one of them is the Leprechaun fortune-telling booth. And it says, as jovial customers leave, Larry, the pudgy fortune teller, dressed like a leprechaun, green derby and all, ducks through the curtains into a back room, where he grabs a beer and catches a score from a game on a small TV. But suddenly, Lyle Heckendorf appears. Lyle says, like to try my new invention? Larry says, like, what? Who? And before he can stop Lyle, he's put on the box, basically, onto his head. Zonked him out. Then Bruce and Chase enter the booth. Suddenly, the back curtain opens, and Lyle appears in the green outfit, derby, and the addition of a mask. So you can see what they're getting at there. Apparently, this version of this version of the Riddler's outfit was a leprechaun outfit.
Well, I mean, why not? It's no stupider than what it actually is.
And then Lyle, and the thing is, I'm so thankful they cut this, not just because of like, this would have been just eye rolling in general, but because it would have been Jim Carrey doing it, it would have been even worse. But then Lyle says, "Sure and Begorum and Sinead O'Connor, what a lovely couple. Come to find out what the future has in store." And this is like Jim Carrey licensed to do an Irish accent and just go over the top with it would have been a nightmare.
And know for a fact it's going to be awful, not remotely convincing, stupid.
And I wonder too, because like if Schumacher was against this, because Joel Schumacher did direct Veronica Guerin, very with Cate Blanchett, which is like a hard-hitting drama. Like you watch it now, it's a bit dated because it's quite MTV edited and whatnot. And there are silly like Irish stereotypes in it, like when Veronica Guerin was a journalist who was killed. Basically, it was a preordained murder. Not actually quite in quite recent memory too. Like it wasn't all that long ago. And so it was a sensitive subject to the people of Ireland. And then Joel Schumacher, of all people, coming over to direct a movie about it. You had things in it like, Danny Boy's playing over when she's killed and there's a Guinness truck in the background. But for the most part, he's quite sensitive to it. Like he's not playing
for him. Yeah.
It is slightly distracting that Father Todd Unctious from the Father Ted Christmas special is the second to top lead. And as
my
soon as you
God.
see that guy, you can't like not be like, that's Father Todd Unctus. Like that's
Father Chewy Louie.
that actor, Gerald McSorley. He had an arrest warrant out for him, like him as an actual person around Christmas.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And-
That's crazy.
And as was following it around, people thought it was a joke because they're like, oh, that's Father Todd Unctus from the Father Ted Christmas special, and he's a criminal in that. So everyone thought they were just taking the piss because it happened around Christmas time. But it's
Oh God, did they get him?
I'm not actually. I haven't checked up on it since. I'll have to see that. But it couldn't be that hard. He was around like the Lifford area, which is quite close to my hometown. It's literally directly next to my hometown. So I don't know if he tried a trip into the Asda, and he got apprehended because all the celebrities go to the Asda, John.
Oh, of course, yes. They must do, right?
Well, Liam Neeson was cited in there.
No.
Johnny Knoxville, of all people, was cited in the Strabane Asda. But anyway, beyond this, so Chase says to Lyle Heckendorf, yeah, sure, why not? And Bruce says, anything for charity. And so Lyle says, then please put some money in my pot of gold. Bruce puts a nice sum in. And then Lyle says, that's all? I mean, it's such a worthy cause. And then Bruce ends up tossing in some more. And then so he grabs Bruce's hand and says, what an interesting hand. So much success, so much power. Quite the star, aren't we? All of Gotham at your feet. Inventive, rich, young, handsome, and a beautiful woman. Everything of that would make a person green with envy. Which is like, I'm thinking like, oh, the reason the Riddler dresses in green is because it's green with envy. Which I guess would work in this movie as well, because he is envious of Bruce Wayne. But
I
they
think
never
that would actually be good.
Yeah, they never allude to it. I don't know if that's a thing that like Schumacher was just like, he didn't think to kind of include it in some way. Or maybe he was just hoping people would read it and do it themselves. But
I actually green's my favorite color anyway. But I now like his color scheme even more if I'm keeping that in the back of my mind.
Yeah,
because he is very envious. This version of the Riddler, that's great.
Mm-hmm. So it is a kind of I think it's just like, oh, it's a nice random happenstance because the Riddler's always green, but like if they just slipped in a line in the finished film, like yep, green with envy or something, and then people will be like, oh yeah, so that's why he's in the suit and stuff. But
so we subscribe to Doug Greenberg's color theory. Which always gets poo-pooed on the Rocky Minute.
But so then Bruce says, why don't you take Dr. Meridian's hand? She's much more interesting. But Lyle doesn't let go. Because again, he figured like they grab Bruce Wayne's hand in Wayne Enterprises. It's like you let the man's hand go. Just let stop grabbing the friggin' guy's wrist. Chase Meridian's grabbing his wrist. Friggin' Robin grabbing his wrist later. It's like leave Bruce Wayne's hand alone. But so then Lyle says, but someone's coming to take your place. A genius, an architect of the future. Someone will win the hearts, minds, and money of Gotham City. You're a dinosaur. And the room has taken a strange tone. I think it would have taken a strange tone before that moment, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think the strange tone came in long ago.
And then Bruce says, well, who is this person? And then Lyle says, I don't know. All I see is a big question mark. And it's the return of that using question mark as like it's a common phrase. When, the too many question marks thing that they poo-pooed. It's like, yeah, it doesn't... I guess this one isn't that bad, because like he's sort of, I'm predicting the future, and all I can see is a giant question mark. Kind of works
sense,
better.
At least.
But yeah, still, it's just like, well, actually, no, maybe I don't mind that one so much, but yeah, basically then the musical overture of the circus begins, and Chase is just like, well, we gotta go. And then that's essentially the end of the scene. Lyle leaves after them with the leprechaun outfit still on. And then Larry appears in his underwear going, hey, that's my suit. Which is, by all means, cut that bit. Like, you don't need to have
Hang on,
that
I have
movie.
a question that I've only just thought of. He's a leprechaun.
Yeah.
But his suit fits the Riddler?
Unless there was planned to have...
I know he's not a real leprechaun, but like you get a little person to play it usually.
Oh, maybe they were just like, yeah, Larry's just a normal sized guy, and maybe it's just like, yeah, by all means, he just has, he's the exact measurements of Lyle Heckendorf, so it doesn't matter. But
should be Indiana Jones style. It should be really ill fitting as well.
I actually would suit to be fair, because. The Riddler's always in the skin tight spandex and stuff, so maybe it is. It's like, yeah, there's no room to breathe in this goddamn outfit.
It's like, oh my God, I need to get a new suit.
But I can just imagine though, because the one shot we got Enigma in this scene where he's just like crouched down in front of the TV going, ah! You just know some poor sods were like given the job of like go off and shoot the B-roll footage with Jim Carrey of him reacting, and there must have been like about 2 hours worth of footage of him doing various faces reacting to the circus.
Yeah, let me try it again. I've got a different thing I want to do.
Yeah, like Jim, like nobody cares. Just let us go home.
We already did it.
Yes, but we've got to do it from different angles. He's also got that thing of like, back in the day, people thought like the future of TV entertainment seemed to be that people will have lots of small TVs.
Yeah, not one big one.
Yeah, so he's had to crouch down in front of this little tiny screen. Whereas, like, what you need is to get yourself one giant big screen, which will break up into multiple compartments like a computer, which is what everybody has now.
Well, the funny thing is, as well, whenever you see stuff from, especially like the mid to late 80s, they always showed people having split screen.
Yeah.
They'd be watching 2 channels at once. It's like, who the hell wants that? That's not useful. The only use I could ever imagine it for are like weirdo people who are really into sport and they want to follow 2 things at once. But if you're doing that, you're not really following either of them.
Yeah. I mean, the only time I remember it working as a concept is in The Man Who Fell to Earth, because that's when Bowie... the thing is, he's an alien. So it makes sense that he's doing it.
Yeah.
Because he's a weird alien sitting watching all these different TVs at the same... like an entire wall full of TVs. But
exactly, yeah.
I do wonder at the same time. It's like, oh, maybe it wouldn't be, because it would have done it more overtly. Because like Bowie has very distinct, like shock orange red hair in that movie, much like the Riddler is going to have in a bit. I was like, oh, maybe that's an allusion to that, because he got all TVs. He's like a big media guy, but I think they would have made it a bit more. Or maybe Joel Schumacher just has a very deft touch. Like he's just really like
maybe
for all the glitz and all the pizzazz that he puts on. His references are just very subtle, so he's like, I'm not going to go out and flat out rip off the people. I'm just going to put it in there very, very casually. But
with deep subtexts about mythology and philosophy.
I still that thing of the Selena and Bruce ball dance last season. Remember, we got a whole thing with Scott Corelli about like, well, the guy in the background has the same helmet as the original version of the Flash. So that might be a reference to that, or it could also be a reference to like Mars, the god of war, because he's or it could be a reference, and they're going to all this deep mythology stuff. And then by the end of it, you came to this like, because it's Tim Burton, and like Tim Burton's, he can be quite clever in some ways, but he wasn't going for that. Like
maybe not like that, no. But I mean, it's an interesting way of looking at it. It doesn't make you wrong necessarily.
It's just the fact too that like he probably didn't even know that was to do with the Flash. It was probably like a costume person was like, yeah, we'll slip in this little reference. And if you mention that to Tim Burton now, he'd be like, what?
Yeah.
You put
it
a
probably
Flash
is
in
the
my
costume
movie?
People putting their own references in there.
Yeah. I guess because they're like, well, unless he's there going like tick, tick, tick to everything. I suppose you get away with murder just putting in these little like, we have a guy there who looks like, I don't know, the rat catcher or whatever. But
yeah.
But anywho, back to the circus.
Well, Bruce then, as you mentioned before, he sneaks off because nobody's listening to him. Who's Bruce Wayne in this moment? Nobody. So he sneaks off and batters some of the goons.
It's terrible. As he's trying to do this, someone is going, hey, you're Bruce Wayne, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like Danny DeVito appears like, oh my God, you're Bruce Wayne, aren't you? It ain't unusual, Bruce.
That'd be amazing. We need Tom Jones in this scene.
Tom Jones is Two-Face.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, Bruce, I'm surprised at I suppose he is Batman. Like his swiftness at getting down and taking care of this. Because you think the crowd would sort of prevent him from doing that for like for at least 2 minutes.
That shows how good he is. Look, he can just get it done. Even when he shouldn't be doing it, he's doing it.
Yeah. And of course, then the Graysons, much like Bruce Wayne, like he was going to sacrifice himself, the Graysons then decide they're swinging into action.
Well, kind of, because eventually the parents send the kids to get the bomb. Why don't they do it?
I was like, oh, I'm so tired from that one flip that my son did. Like, I had to catch him. So I was like, I'm 55 years old. Like, I've got a 30-year-old son in the circus with me. Like, what? I can't get up to those rafters in time.
Actually, you know what? I've just realized as well. It's only the mother who doesn't help, isn't it? Because I think the dad's helping.
Yeah, well, actually, let's keep a track where all the Graysons are going.
Yeah, I'm trying to sort of go slowly through, and there is a mysterious Grayson there at one point.
Mysterious? There is another.
There is another Grayson.
I always find Frank Oz's voice cracks a bit in that, because he's like, there is another Skywalker. Like,
to be fair, Yoda's dying in that scene.
Yeah, but it's almost like a kind of comical, like he goes into like more of a Muppet voice than he usually does. But
that's like the saddest thing in the world to me.
He was fine. He came back.
Well, anyone can come back now, apparently.
As the guy said, Ben Solo's dead, huh? Don't worry.
He'll be back. Ben Solo will return.
Yeah. Although, actually, of all characters, Ben Solo probably won't be back as Adam Driver. He's just like, this, I'm out.
Oh, he's like the best thing.
Unless it's like that's why I'm still not popped into the whole, it's the last in the saga hype. Because we've lived through it multiple times.
It was the last in the saga last time.
Yeah, I just feel like, nah, like 20 years time. You might get, maybe on his ass, Adam Driver will be like, all right, yep, coming back to do another Star Wars. It's just like, Daisy Ridley's is like, yeah, I've been doing nothing since. So, by all means, episode 10 is arriving.
Hey, why not? Because it would be free of the shackles of the original trilogy at that point. So, it would be open to doing anything, which is what you want it to bloody do in the first place. Just do new movies in the Star Wars world.
I'm sure by that point, though, people will be like, the Disney trilogy is the greatest trilogy of all the trilogies, and the cultural paradigm will shift again.
Oh, God, probably.
I'm certain down the line, people will be regarding The Rise of Skywalker as the greatest of the Star Wars movies. Because people now like legitimately trying to say that the prequels are good. Like, no. It doesn't matter how much time passes. They weren't good at the time, and they're definitely not good now. So
that's the thing. I like watching them, though. If that makes sense. I will put them on relatively regularly.
Yeah, they are very watchable films, but...
Sort of. I don't know. If there wasn't the connection to the originals, like I don't think I would find them fun though. But weirdly, the connection is what kills. Oh my God! So Batman, they go to get the bomb. They've wordlessly come up with a plan, clearly, right? Because what else are they going to do other than roll it out of the roof? Because they're not bomb defusal experts. How do you defuse TNT anyway?
I'm assuming they just they have all come to the same conclusion, because I guess maybe they're up in the rafters, so they know how things work. They're like, oh, if we could get it, because we're in a domed shape, like, building that is right next to some water. Then maybe they're all like, yeah, we get that up through the hole in the roof. That thing will just roll down into the water, or maybe there's at least if we get it outside, then. The outside of the building will shield the blast to a relative degree. I'm sure there'll still be loads of damage and stuff. But
no, everybody knows circus tents are bomb-proof and bulletproof and fireproof.
But although when we're talking about Mother Grayson, did a little research on the actress who plays her, because the rest of them we had Mitch Gaylord, and we had the guy who played the dad. We talked about them previously. But this woman playing Mary Grayson, but yeah, this lady playing Mother Grayson is Glory Fiormonte, and she's been she's mostly a stunt person, basically, and a ton of stuff.
Makes sense. They have no lines, so screw it.
Yeah, I think she gets like one, and the next minute was just like, grab it, stop it.
You're right. Actually, you are right. There is technically a line coming. Is it even her though?
I think it must be, though, because they give it to her sole credit. So maybe it's a thing like, instead of just being an extra, then you get to be like a proper part because we give you a line. But
when you get more money.
I But she's been in the movies Kalamazoo, which has a question mark at the end, which is
that could be your follow-up podcast. I do declare
that could be the Patreon episodes. Will be the question mark movies.
Yes,
because she's not only in Kalamazoo, she's also in Who's That Girl?
There you go.
with Madonna. She is in The Girl Gets Mo with Michael Madsen. So she shares something in common with former guest Brierly Bishop.
Everything's connected.
Yeah. Also appeared in Batman Begins, actually. So she got Chris Nolan wasn't completely as free from the shackles of the previous movies as he thought. I think imagine he probably did that not knowing, and then she might have been like, I was in Batman forever. He's like, what? God damn it! Get the hell off my set.
Delete the scenes.
But then she's also in Showgirls, classic.
Oh, I genuinely like that movie. Not in a so bad it's good way. I watched it wanting to make fun of it, and at the end I was like, oh, that was actually pretty good. I liked it.
I liked it up to that point where everybody got AIDS and then I was just like, oh, it all went south after that. But she's also in Groundhog Day, Escape from New York. She's in Carrie and The Hidden, great Kyle MacLachlan movie. And then tying into Batman more specifically, she's in Looney Tunes Back in Action, which we know had the old Michael Keaton Batmobile in it very briefly. And then she's also in Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and The Client. So she could have been like an olive branch between Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones, but I guess they never would have shared a scene. So
she could have been somebody.
She could have been an olive branch instead of a dead person lying on the circus floor, which is what she is.
Oh, alas. Little known fact, they did actually kill her in this scene. But now you've mentioned Kyle MacLachlan, I just want to see, I mean, it's too late now probably. Old school Kyle MacLachlan, I want to see him as Bruce Wayne.
I always maintained for a while that Kyle MacLachlan in the 90s would have been a good Superman. Because he's got the chin.
He's got the chin. I think he could play either of those parts. I could imagine him with the Superman little hair curl thing.
Yeah. But he has that oddness about him where he'd be like, he's not quite a human. Like he's, again, in The Hidden, he is an alien. He's an undercover alien. He was playing like a weird FBI agent before Twin Peaks in The Hidden. Great movie too, actually, The Hidden. I highly recommend the people who haven't, if you've not seen it. It's got Kyle MacLachlan showing up at the end with a flamethrower, taking out a guy on stage. But yeah, then that's all her stunt person stuff. And then as an actress, she was in a couple of things. The main thing being The Craft, which obviously now big friggin' considered a real classic amongst people of a certain generation. Like I rewatched The Craft recently, didn't think it was that good, but like I
love it. But yeah, I don't know if you saw it now, brand new, fresh.
Yeah.
If it would seem as interesting, I don't know. Genuinely, I'm so connected to it.
It's one of those things. Like it really did the job well for its demographic. Like if you were a teenager or like a young kid in the mid '90s, and then particularly if you were like an alternative teenage girl, I'd imagine The Craft would have been like the biggest thing. But again, now watching it, like I did see it when I was a kid, but it was just like I was never that into it. And then rewatched it again in recent years, and I was like, I like Fairuza Balk. She's really good in this.
Oh, she's amazing.
But she was like the main thing. I was just like, yeah, she's the only thing that's really hasn't dated in this movie. But
I like dated stuff though. To me, that's the appeal of it. It transports me back to the 90s.
Oh, it's intensely 90s.
Yeah, like watching. Oh God, I'm not allowed to mention this on air apparently. But it's like watching Hackers takes you back to a very specific time.
That's absolutely. Because again, like can we mention it on the show?
I don't know. Apparently not. Listeners, if this makes it and you hear it, we got in trouble with the makers of Hackers because we mentioned Hackers and they claimed the copyright on one of the episodes.
Yeah, and I think we contested it. And they went back and like, no, it stands. The complaint stands. It's like,
so it's not allowed on YouTube, I don't think, or it might be back now, but with certain caveats. Like,
yeah, and I was thinking too, because some outros I do, like I'll do something a bit different. Like when the Mission Impossible guys were on last year, did the outro in the style of the Mission Impossible, the outro you were listening to, blah, 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 and then put on the Mission Impossible theme. Sometimes we do get called up on that, and it's fair enough because that's copyrighted music. But I couldn't think of that Hackers one. There was no such outro. And I couldn't even think of what an outro that would have taken copyright from material from Hackers would have been. Like,
No, I have no idea. Oh, and I love Hackers. How dare they sour that movie for me?
Maybe it was Matthew Lillard himself. He was like, we made fun of his outfits in it. So maybe he's like, no way, man. But
well, you know what? Maybe they hacked it and put the music in themselves. They hacked us, man. They hacked the planet.
But
yeah.
I just don't. I can't imagine they looked into it too much. I can imagine someone on YouTube was just like, they're contesting that. I'm not gonna. No, it stands. Like, I'm not gonna go investigate this because
they probably just can't be bothered.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not gonna sit through like a 50-minute episode. You crazy?
We'll make this one like 150 minutes just to put them off even more.
It just put the same episode on like 5 times in a row. So it's.
Well, to be honest, there isn't actually much else happening. I mean, they use trapeze skills to head towards the ball, and the minute ends there.
Yeah, that's in the midst of a really good sequence of the movie, but the action kind of really kicks into more high gear next minute, really. So
it's going to be exciting. What's going to happen to the Graysons? Will they get rid of the bomb in time?
Only other thing I would mention, just for the sake of completion, is that within classic comic lore, Two-Face has robbed circuses in the past. He did one so in Batman number 50, which had I'm going to talk more about that issue later on because it's got some weird crap in it that I want to bring up because we spent a lot of time talking about that. And he also did so in, I think, the Return. Oh, no, Two-Face Strikes Back, which is Batman 81. And that one's notable because that's the issue with the giant coin, where we talked about it in the Patreon episode because they make reference to it in the animated episode Almost Got Him. Where
hey, classic. Go listen to that episode we did, everybody.
Yeah, and it's like crucial bit of Batman iconography now. Like the giant coin he has in the Batcave. In the animated series that comes from the episode Almost Got Him, but in the comics it comes from Two-Face Strikes Back, wherein Batman and Robin are both tied to a giant coin that Two-Face was going to flip. So, but in that issue, he also attempts to rob a circus. So there you go. Just for the sake of completion, there's that point.
Well, I'm gonna go and check some of those out that I haven't seen.
Yeah, but yeah, beyond that, I think we're ready to roll.
Yes, Niall, do you have anything to put now? Treat you as a guest. No, we are heading off now into the dark, dark night. Come and talk to us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that nonsense. Check out the website, thebatminute.com. But the most important thing, well, I suppose there's 2 most important things. Come and check out the Patreon, because for only $2 a month,
that's $2 a month.
2. You get a minimum of 2. No, 1.
Yeah, don't start making promises we can't keep.
No, you get a minimum of 1 episode a month, but you often get more. Like over Christmas, you got 3 in quite quick succession, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it was
over the December to early January period. You got 3, and they're always coming. Whenever we get bored, we do one. You get 1 a month, and then if we get bored.
But it's got like all the long Halloween coverage. We've been keeping up with that. Every new holiday within the book, they did an issue, and every new holiday, we air an episode about that issue of the book. So I think at this point in time, this comes out, I don't know where we'll be. We'll probably actually be on St. Patrick's Day, weirdly enough, appropriate enough from what we were talking about earlier. But
get the Guinness in for that one. Actually, I might genuinely buy some Guinness.
That's what I was thinking too, because I was. At one point, people might not know this, but like John, you posted to me that Mountain Dew cake in reference to. I think it was too devastating that the Edward Nygma is sitting eating popcorn throughout this minute, and like, what they could have had the Doritos, they could have had them right there, but. I am kind of slightly tempted to try to make a Mountain Dew cake just so we can have it on the show.
Plus, it pretends to be Irish, so
yeah. I also kind of wanted to go to, because we had the Vichyssoise last year, made by a head chef friend of ours, Dave Upson. But I have a feeling if I asked him to make a Mountain Dew cake, he'd be like, "I will not touch such an abomination. Like
sullying his good name.
Because there's no way you can even save that. It's not as if like, well, I could spritz it up and make it something fancy. It's like, no, it would have to be dirt Mountain Dew cake. But
It might be nice.
The presentation of it was great. Like at the top of it, the icing looked well done. Anyway, but
yeah. I mean, I would genuinely try it. I'll try anything that's not meat. Basically,
yeah.
I'm not bothered. When I ate meat, I would have tried everything, including meat.
No, that's the unfortunate thing, though. Apparently, one of the key ingredients of Mountain Dew is mountain goats. So I guess you're out of luck there. But
mountain mutton sprinkled over the top.
That's the chewier drink you can get.
Yeah, you say that. I like chewy drinks because I like bubble tea.
Oh yeah, well, I've only had it once or twice, and I've always enjoyed it. So yeah, that's a fair enough. Fair enough.
If you wanted to chew on tapioca while drinking tea, go get one, people.
Yeah. But now this is officially the longest outro we've ever done.
It is. We'll go. We'll let you go and enjoy your weekend. Have a fun Friday. Have a fun Saturday. Have a fun Sunday. But don't forget, we're back on Monday with more Bat Minute Forever.
Next time, bombs away? There's a big top punch-up and a combustible conveying scurry, followed by a Morai-approved machine gun flurry. But as the desperado of duality makes deadly use of gravity, which family of do-gooding daredevils will move into rapid descent due to the actions of one Harvey Dent? Find out next week. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.